black, me no brown, me no white. Nazi Babylon stripe, you mad? Yeah man. Don't try to resist this metamorphosis. Right yourself with Iman Blak. Listen to Iman. Step aside, slash ya.
This is Marogini. Salut, messieurs, mesdames. Vous êtes en train d'écouter Metamorphosis avec Dr. Iman Blak.
People moving out, people moving in. Why? Because of the color of the skin. Run, 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 but you sure can't hide. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Vote for me and I'll set you free. Rap on, brother, rap on. Well, the only person talking about love and brother is the preacher.
From a cuckoo to a butterfly, metamorphosis.
There is a light far, far away, where there's no night.
People of the world into one vast organization to plant the banner of freedom on the great continent of Africa. If Europe is for Europeans, then Africa is for the black people of the world. Men and women as black as I am, and even more so, had believed themselves right under West Indian order of society. I was simply an impossible man to use openly the term Negro, yet everyone beneath its breath was calling the black man a nigger. I had to decide whether to please my friends and be one of the black whites of Jamaica and be reasonably prosperous, or come out openly and help improve and protect the integrity of the black millions and suffer. I decided to do the latter. There is no future for a people who deny their past. My foreparents, my grandparents, my mother and father did not suffer and die to give me an education to oppress, slight, or discourage my people. Whatsoever education I acquired out of their sacrifice of over 300 years, I shall use for the salvation of the 400 million Negroes of the world. And the day when I forsake my people, may God Almighty say there shall be no more life for you. I unequivocally rejected the racist assumptions of much white American Christianity, namely that God had created the black man inferior and that he had intended Negroes to be a servant class. He was of wood and drawers of water. I predicated my view of man and the doctrine of Imago Dei. All men regarding were created in the image of God.
So many things that's held us down, but now it looks like things are finally coming around. I know we've got a long, long way to go, and where we'll end up, I don't know. But we won't let nothing hold us back. We're putting ourselves together, we're polishing up our act. If you've ever been held down before, I know you refuse to be held down anymore. Stand in your way. I won't try to listen to every word I say, every word you say. Ain't no stopping us now. We're on the ain't no stopping.
emerging from a cocoon into a caterpillar, from a caterpillar to a butterfly. The metamorphosis is here, it's live. Metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis, word, sound and power, music, drumming, current affairs, everything to grow and lift up your mind. Metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis, creating beauty and stimulating change from a constant supply of relevant knowledge and information.
No more youths and youths for sale. We get wise and don't decide to change their style. Bobby wrong, keep your empty promises and your crooked smile. Metamorphosis, come with your thoughts, change your way of thinking. Metamorphosis, the change begins with you.
Metamorphosis, Black men of Ethiopia, Timbuktu, Alexandria, gave the light of civilization to this world. Ethiopia shall stretch forth our hands unto God, and princes shall come out of Egypt.
I, son of the Most High, Jah Rastafari.
Keep listening.
Again. Time and space. The basic dimensions of reality. Sound and movement. The basic responses of humanity. Metamorphosis.
Highly,
Again.
Yes, I guess. Highly. Boy, they never want me, forever burning. Can you see when the tables turn? Me say I love her, I and I preaching. So every land of hate will burn. I was there when the ships came and chastised in a Jesus' name. Wonder if me crazy, wonder if me sane, but the whole of Rome go up in a flame. I know nothing to me walk in a room and start a fire. And I know nothing to me walk in a room and start a fire. God, them I wonder how a little African I go burn down the whole in a Vatican, but I know nothing to me walk in a room. Start a fire. We a go home, the whole demographic. And when me talk, I mean no hypocritic. When me say Rome, I eat no geographic. But if I you feel wear the cap, then I you it a fit. When me say Rome, me a talk about lion. I you the Selassie, I the power of the triad. The eagle and the dragon and the bear a spit fire, but them can't overthrow the conquering lion. Listen to the voice of the people. Today Rome will burn, and not me alone. No nothing for me walk in a room and start a fire. Yes, no nothing for me walk in a room and start a fire. Me say a fire because them a welcome. Fire.
Metamorphosis.
Say here comes trouble, here comes the danger, sent by the Savior, welcome the Rasta youths. I start recruit, soldiers for Selassie army. Here comes trouble, here comes the danger, welcome the Savior, welcome the Rasta youths. You're not for axes who at the general issue in a warning. The people them a ball, said them tired of mediocre. Evil a go fall when we tried in Ethiopia. Believing from down, cause them life not easy boat. Even Bantan said it's not an easy road. Operation occupy the motherland, calling all soldiers to kind each other along. From creation, he writing a job plan, but chronics can't do it alone. So I'm recruiting soldiers coming from near.
Recruiting Metamorphosis soldiers.
And be Rastafari true. And them say here comes trouble, here comes the danger. Sent by the Savior, welcome the Rasta.
Here comes the metamorphosis.
Soldiers for Selassie, army. Here comes trouble, here comes the danger. Welcome the Savior, welcome the Rasta youths. You're not for axes who are the general issue in a warning board. Waving the banner red, green and gold.
God keep shine like them for this land. We wise and human stand sipping from the full cup of peace. Not one shall live, not one. God keep shine like them. These are all alone. We wise and a true man stand sipping from the cup of peace. You chant down no Babylon. You chant down no Babylon. You chant down no Babylon. Chant down no Babylon. Give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise to the whole man of creation.
Tinastilin, greetings, Sata, Amasagana, Akwaba, Ale, all positive vibrations to ones, listening to this powerful station called Stars FM. Yes, greetings, another Metamorphosis. I am your host. I am Dr. Iman Blak. Sitting in for myself, giving thanks for the brethren who passed through. Ras Osa Bora, who gave you a full insight into Ethiopia and Ethiopianism and the importance of the Ethiopian World Federation. So we have Osa over there in St. Catherine for keeping the Metamorphosis at the standard that we know. Also healing up Ras Makonnen, who has been here more often and giving his input as we move towards the upliftment and the transformation of that great power within that's called the I. Yeah, so again, give thanks for another session. We are now in a month, and within this month we are on a specific day, and we call it Friday the 13th. Usually a lot of people's heads start jump all about the place when them hear Friday the 13th. So within this Metamorphosis, we're going to explore the whole notion of luck, both good and bad. We're going to explore the nature of our belief system and our philosophy based upon things that have been given within the Western culture. So today is a bad lucky day. What makes luck bad? What makes luck good? And is it that good luck always has a certain color, and bad luck usually represented by a certain color? Are these accidental? So we're going to explore this thing that has been put upon us, this fear of number 13 and the fear of walking under a ladder, for example, and the fear that is evoked when we see a black cat, and the things that run through our brain. Where do we get these notions from? So we'll be looking at that within the Metamorphosis. And of course, in the same vein, we'll be exploring now the power of symbols. What are symbols? What do they really represent within our thinking? What are signs? What are letters? What are words? What are the powers behind words? So it's about thinking. It's about exercising that organ that we have been given, that most of us sit on. It's called the brain. Yes, a lot of people sit on their brain. The Metamorphosis is about awakening And it is being suggested that one of the most critical organs that need awakening is the brain. So, pull all the brain together in one space now, because we're going to go into ourselves. Metamorphosis.
I and I don't make up I and I mind to go through the same things like I and I forbearance go through. No people die, cry blood Africa, cry blood, cry blood Africa, cry blood. Cry blood. You are invade Africa, saying that they will die, my sister. They were so presumptuous. Who dare them to say that? Cry. Africa cry, blood. Cry, Africa, cry, blood. Come this day to set such foundation, upon foundation in foundation. If anyone should trouble, cry.
Yes, Metamorphosis here, Dr. Iman Blak. Hoping that all ones and ones are well, that you have gathered your tools, because in order to undergo the transformation, we need equipment. And an important equipment is the pen, the paper, the dictionary, the King James Version of reality, and whatever it is that keeps you focused. So, beginning, without really getting into the essence, just want to have a little flirtation with this idea of good luck and bad luck. In some people's lives, these are the forces that govern their whatever they experience. They usually attribute it to luck. But what really is luck? How is that created? Who controls luck? And what it is to define good luck from bad luck? Is it something cultural? Is it something spiritual? Good luck. So two teams are going to play a football match, like Spain versus Holland, and both teams tell each other good luck, yet both teams want to win. So what does it mean to tell the team good luck when you really want them to lose? So what kind of luck are you passing on to them? And how do they respond in their brain to this utterance of good luck? Is it something that is controlled by a force? Is it that luck is controlled by forces beyond man? How then does it become good or bad? People have begun to think a little bit now about the source and the foundation of much of our fears. Because if we fear Friday the 13th, we have to know where and how did we arrive at this fear. What is the genesis of this fear? It's a very serious point I think I'm trying to make. Superstition, religion, determining how we behave. Fear, good luck, bad luck. Who controls these forces? Anybody ever try to define really what is luck? And why is it? It seems as if some people have so much good luck, and so many people have so much bad luck. What are the motives for luck? So a definition of luck. It is a purposeless, unpredictable, and uncontrollable force that shapes events either favorably or unfavorably in an individual, in a group, or a cause. So the important points within this definition is that it is suggesting that luck is something that it's purposeless, it is unpredictable, and it is an uncontrollable force. So luck, then, the definition suggesting, is a force. So if luck is a force, we really want to know now where this force come from, how is it directed, how is it when it reaches some people it becomes good, and when it reaches other people it becomes bad. And is it really being generated now out of the own person's thinking? And is your thinking now really connected to the type of luck that you experience? Yeah, luck. The ancients did not really accept that things were coincidental. The ancients had a notion of things being connected, not accidental. So you walk and you buck your toe. Is that bad luck, or is it that you're gazing? You find a money, is that good luck? It is bad luck to the man who loses it. You find it, you say you're lucky. So the force that defines luck, we want to explore that. And is that force driven by the culture? Are those forces connected to the deities? Is it connected to our history? Is it that the Europeans have their own concept of luck? Is it that the Orientals and the Chinese and the Africans have their own ways of luck? We're looking into forces that affect meditation. So, Akida, I'm Blak. I'm saying that luck is for the Irish and righteousness is for the Ethiopian. Yes, Akida, I'm Blak. We hear you.
The first trumpet might as well be the last. Many more will have to suffer. Many more will have to die. Don't ask me why. Things are not the way they used to be. I won't tell no lie. One and all
No, we're still going into a little early exploration of this thing that surrounds what we call luck, good luck and bad luck. And we're trying to identify whether this thing is something that is these experiences as we interpret them. Some people now will want to speak about destiny. And when certain events and experiences reach them says it's because it was destined, suggesting that the thing was planned before it even happened to them. So we attribute a lot of our own experiences to things that have been told to us. That is so it go. And when things work a certain way, we say we are lucky. When things work a different way, we say we're unlucky. And that something caused the good luck and something caused the bad luck. No, these forces that we claim is the source of these lucks. Do we personify these forces? Do we put human attributes to these forces? Or these forces are just neutral? So good luck comes from a good force. And bad luck comes from a bad force. And of course, in our socialization, the good force is usually called God. And the bad force is usually called Satan. So, good luck and bad luck seem to be locked into a sort of religious framework. And we look at the imagery now of the good and the bad forces. We begin to see coloration. And of course, good luck comes from purity, things that look white. And bad luck now comes from things that are dark. So you understand now that we wouldn't run away from a white cat. A white cat would never symbolize anything that is bad. But when you see the black cat, and if you look at a certain cigarette box, you see a black cat. And that black cat is the symbol of poison and death. So, you see this luck thing now? We have to explore it now from the cultural perspective. Have we adopted the belief systems of fear and doubt and luck and superstition of the Europeans? Because the European is dread and terrible and fearful over the number 13. He refuses to even build a hotel. In his building of hotels, there's no 13th floor. The man is paranoid over 13. What is his fear about 13? Something in his psyche, something in his culture makes him afraid of 13. We have to find out, We have to take these things off our shoulder and put it on him and then examine it. Why is a white man afraid of 13? When we enter ancient Egypt and ancient China, 13 is a good-lucky number. Something is amiss. Alright, we are here again, and we'll continue in the exploration, starting from the point of fear and trying to find where is the source of these fears that seem to be culturally driven and has a lot of influence over I and I as African people, trapped in the West and locked under Western thinking, Western education, Western socialization, Christendom, locked into the book of King James and his version of reality. So Friday the 13th, Black Friday. Yes, it's a Black Friday, you know. That means things going just dread and terrible because it's black. And we are afraid of things that are black. Thus we must be afraid of our own skins. What a piece of paradox, leading to all sort of conflicts in the psychophysiological makeup of the black people. Cannot be satisfied because we love good and we hate evil, yet we are described as the source of evil. No, this thing called luck, something again we have to look into. There are some who think that people create their own luck, that it doesn't come through some purposeless, undriven force. It is all connected to people's thinking. And you create your own luck by attracting to thyself the things that you think about. So if you keep thinking on negative things, surely it shall reach you. And then you say, you're bad lucked. So we have to look again at this thing called our thinking. And how does it relate to our destiny? Yeah, good luck and bad luck. Virgin says the Irish thing. The Irish talk about good luck and bad luck. And we have adopted a lot of the things that are European. And out of those ideas, we have a lot of fears. And a lot of the fears now are connected to even the way we think and what we do. But we'll have to look at the culture of fear. How does it benefit and who does it benefit? Then of course, there is the ultimate fear of death. And death has a color. To the ancients, the color of death was white, like the ashes when the fire burns out, and like the winter snow that kills the vegetation. Of course, within this dispensation, all has been turned around. And we go to funerals dressed in black. And we get married dressed in white. White is for the good luck. But anyhow, I and I marry again, it shall be a all black affair, of course. Moving now into I word, sound and power. Looking at the notions of identity, looking at notions of language, looking at the notion of power. We're now into I Word Sound and Power, where we use within this segment the tools of psychology, philosophy, anthropology, anatomy, whatever is available. We use these tools now to explore identity. And the identity we'll continue to explore is that of the African, the black person. Now, what is the black persona? What are the constituents of the black personality? How do we define our identities? What are the foundation of our own existence? So within the African cosmology, at the highest level of our imagination, we create our deities. And all cultures have their deities. All cultures. So we don't feel any way to explore the African deities, the African gods and goddesses. And these are spread out all across the African continent. So within the notion of identity, we have to begin to identify who are our deities. And the deities, of course, are driven by the culture of the people and by their own history. So within the African construct, we tend to be locked into the biblical notion of Africa. We were introduced to Africa through Ethiopia and Egypt. So if we use that even as a point of entrance, and we explore the deities then of ancient Egypt, we find that something very peculiar about these deities. Not peculiar in an odd sense, but peculiar when compared to what we have been given now in the West. Those deities were always anthropomorphic, meaning always in a human form. But the human form always included both genders. So the ancient deities of ancient Africa were always male and female. The deities. And the deities that are given the credit now for creating the civilization or the certain culture. And within Africa, within black people culture, because the deities are male and female, then we understand the importance of man and woman, procreation, family, and the whole development of civilization. So we have to have points of reference to build our civilization. And our cosmology is an important sphere. Of course, the Europeans, they have their cosmology. Within their cosmology, they have one deity. And the deity is a masculine deity. And the deity is all-powering, uncompromising, no reasoning, bullyism. So it begins to give you a reflection on the nature of the people who embrace these type of deities. The Africans understand the importance of male and female. And so within the African construction, there is, for example, Osar, Oset, and Heru. This is the symbolic representation of the father, the mother, and the child. So if we're going to speak about African identity and black identity, we have to reach into the recesses of our own memory and reconstruct what is original. Because we have a carbon copy of that original, and it looks like Mary, Jesus, and Joseph. That is a carbon copy of the original, which is Osar, Oset, and Heru. Identity is grounded in our history and in our culture. It is the foundation and the basis of our reality. Metamorphosis. we're continuing the journey within self. And we recognize to set the foundation for identity, we have to understand our own cosmology. Very crucial to that process of identifying the I. Now, the ancients, of course, had to use some ways to articulate or some ways to communicate these ideas. So the importance then of symbols. Symbols now become a crucial way or a path to connecting and understanding higher levels of knowledge. Symbols. The ancients, of course, wrote in symbols, communicated in symbols, symbolic writing. Hieroglyphics is the word to describe that type of communication. So symbols now, if we look into our dictionary quickly and look at the word symbol and give yourself a briefing of what is a symbol. Because they surround us, they are everywhere, symbols, and they influence our thinking and our feelings. But if you're unaware of these things, of course, you get licked and you don't know. So we're awakening the consciousness to the importance of symbols and how they direct and influence our lives. So for example, what is a symbol? I'm going to give you a working definition of a symbol. And the man we're going to use is Noah Webster. And this is the Virgin who put together this dictionary that controls much of what we think. And he says that a symbol is an object that represents or stands for or suggests an idea. And symbols have multiple meanings. Symbols take the form of words, sounds, gestures. And we know what the middle finger means as a gesture. So we are surrounded by symbols, and there is a line of thought that thinks that symbols represent energy, and that symbols actually evoke and direct energy. Now, if we were to just use that as a starting point for the power of symbols, we think about the things around us, visual symbols. I'm going to speak to two symbols and then get into depth a little bit more. I'm going to talk about the cross. Within Christendom, the cross is a mighty symbol. Within ancient African cultures, particularly ancient Egypt, the Ankh is a mighty symbol. The Ankh, A-N-K-H, it represents the key of life. We have been given a cross. What does a cross represent? People of Christianity, people of the Bible who hug up the cross. What does a cross mean? Symbols. Metamorphosis. So we see that there are religious symbols. Of course, there are also political symbols. How many people are aware of the symbol that was used by the Germans during the Nazi era? How many people are conscious of the Nazi symbol? The symbol that caused so much pain to the people of Europe. The symbol that became hated by much of Europe and other parts of the world. A hated symbol. The symbol was called the swastika. And the swastika, if you trace its genesis, is not much different from the cross. And the swastika, in certain places, is banned. This is what people say only a symbol. But within that symbol, it is packed with ideas. It is packed with suggestions. So now we have to be very careful about the symbols that we embrace. Because it means that we're holding on some things that are really, really serious. Symbols. Political symbols. In Jamaica, the fist and the bell. These are symbols that sometimes can create and excite the crowd. The fist and the bell. So if we look around us now carefully now, we see that there are things that are in visual forms that have an impact on our own psyche. So the cross now, is it a symbol of good luck? Or is it a symbol of bad luck? What about the ankh? What is your view? Is the ankh a symbol of good luck? There are people who will tell you the ankh is a sign of the devil. Yes, they will tell you that the ankh is a sign of the devil. Do your own research and re-examine ancient culture. The symbol of life. The ankh was held by all of the gods and the goddesses in the pantheon of ancient Africa, ancient Egypt. It was a symbol of the male and the female connected. We're talking about the ankh, the A-N-K-H. Well, all of a sudden we have abandoned the ankh, and around everybody's neck is a cross. This cross is a heavy cross. This cross is carrying the weight, to many, of a dead man. It's a heavy cross. I heard that it was once upon a hill called Calvary. And now it's around the necks of black people. What a burden. I say, liberate the ankh.
Who were the founders of science and the
Styles FM on the go, you can listen to your favorite programs by calling the USA number 213-992-4360. If you're in the UK, is 033-0010-3322.
Catch the showdown every Saturday morning, 10:30 to 11 a.m. on Styles FM. Yes, it's smoother sailing. The showdown, two artists goes head to head. You tell us who's your favorite. Call us on 453-1444. The showdown, 10:30 to 11 a.m.
I may say, don't know, Sir Red David Association with Jerry and Never Good Vibes Link Up presents a round robin called Rum Case. You see me? I don't know, sir, on the 14th of June that I this Saturday. I know, sir, PV Entertainment Center, 21A West Palm Avenue. I don't know, sir, music by Mad Squad with Crab and the Crew. I don't know, sir, admission are free. And if you buy 2 flasks, you get 1 free. So me I say, y'all make sure sound stop and pre. You hear? Rum Case.
Planning a party? Club night out, stage show, a gospel concert, or even a business sales event? Let Styles FM be a part of your promoting tool. Take advantage of our low-priced promotion packages with commercials, interviews, giveaways, reviews, and much more. We have special offers when you mix and match and bundle your options. Contact us at 876-286-9216 or 439-5160. Styles FM for the most effective way to exploit your marketing dollar.
Economic liberation is a duty I owe to posterity. Great Zimbabwe stands, ancient rock solid firm. Come now, Draco go down. Great Zimbabwe walls, great Zimbabwe walls, great Zimbabwe walls, great Zimbabwe walls. Zimbabwe walls. They said it was the foundation. They said it was the Syrian. They said it was the Chinese. When they saw Zimbabwe wall, they said it came from the Iberian. We know it is 100% African. Naga naga na Zimbabwe walls, great Zimbabwe walls, great Zimbabwe walls, great Zimbabwe walls. So who your Vasco de Gama be? So who brings Henry the Navigator be? So who was yours? So Walter Raleigh. So who was Amerigo Vespucci?
Yeah, the Metamorphosis continues. We are now in the segment called we're looking at Alkebulan, our story. Somebody was asking on Facebook if I said that the Ankh represents the devil. No, Christina. I'm saying the world of Christendom. It is the world of Christendom who argues that the Ankh represents the devil, because they have disconnected themselves from the ancient culture. So the Ankh represents the symbol of life, the symbol of fertility. It shows the connectivity between the male and the female, because without that connectivity, there is no continuity of the race called African. So I'm not saying anything that sounds like what you hear, Christina. I'm saying that the Ankh represents the symbol of life. So the ancient gods and goddesses, if you look at the images, they all have an Ankh in their hands. And the Ankh is connected to the sun, the radiation of the sun. The imagery is there. The symbols represent the connection between the sun and life. This sun that I speak about now, the ancients respected the Son of God. The Son of God just happened to be the S-U-N. The ancients, the Chinese, the Indians had no notion of a white man called the S-O-N of God. There was no notion of any carpenter recognizing that his wife became pregnant without his input and calling that child the son. I know of the S-U-N. The Almighty, S-U-N, the giver and the sustainer of life. And the creator of that son is the Almighty. So the ancients respected the power of the creator and the creators, respecting the genders and the male and the female, and they also respected the creation of the son. The deception is that we have been deceived to think that the son of the creator is an S-O-N. And that this S-O-N is manifested in a man called Jesus the Christ. And this Jesus the Christ will become the savior for the black race. Not for the Chinese nor the Indians, who have their own salvation within their own philosophies of family and community, self-respect, the things that make all nations positive. But the African people, locked into this belief system that is anti-African, it is anti-black culture, it is anti-self. So, the man them must out there, and the women and the people generally who are thinking must begin to think a little bit deeper. Look around your neck and see if you have a cross. And check yourself. Why do you wear this cross? Why do you continue to bear the crosses? And whose crosses are you bearing? Look around the person who's wearing the ankh. That ankh represents life, represents prosperity, different mentality. And it releases a certain type of energy because the symbols create energy and drive towards a certain type of thinking and behavior. So you see, if you're feeling liberated, let go of the cross. Yeah, man, free yourself from the crosses and begin to look into symbols that are more uplifting, symbols that represent African culture. Let us begin to think a little bit deeper about the power of the ankh.
Repatriate and make we take it all. No plan for you and Iman. Work hard and make we do it in a yard. We're coming to take it. Here I come.
Now there are many people who are on this particular island who are still in doubt about calling themselves African. There are still a lot of people here who are in doubt about calling themselves black. So the African still represents, in many people's thinking, a lesser human being. A lot of us are unable to take our mentalness, consciousness beyond the slave trade. They teach African history in the Caribbean by beginning to tell the children that Africans were enslaved. And so a lot of people think that there is no story before the enslavement process, that there was nothing going on in Africa, and that Africa was jungle land, and that the lions roared in the jungles. Later on we got to realize the lions don't even live in the jungle. You know where the lion live? I have a guest to know that I'm going to bring her into this thing. I have a female in my studio. I wonder if she knows where lions live. She might believe that lions live in jungle. Lions don't live in jungle, you know. Lions live in the prairies. But because of the mythology of Superman and Tarzan and Jane and all of these imagery, we keep talking about lion in the jungle. And we actually believe that lions live in jungles, and that the lion is the king of the jungle. We still say it. The lion does not live in a jungle. The lion lives on the prairie. So how did we get that? So now we're all afraid. We're afraid. A lot of people are mentally and psychologically afraid of Africa, you know. There are some people in America who are afraid of Jamaica. There are some people who are brave enough to come to Jamaica, come through the propaganda, come through the deception, and land at the airport, and nobody don't take away their money. It is the same thing with Africa. And Africa is not a small place. Africa is, you can drop the United States in Africa. And you can drop Europe and you can drop South America and Africa. It's a massive, massive continent. But we have been disconnected so long, and particularly through religious history, we get the impression that Africa is a dark continent. And dark suggests ignorant, dark suggests unintelligent, dark suggests barbaric. Who wants to be connected to the dark of Africa? It is heavy propaganda, but with true knowledge and experience, we come to know that the ancients, particularly the ancient Egyptians that we are known of, and ancient Ethiopians, the greatest scientists, greatest medicine men, greatest physicians, greatest astronomers, all came out of the African continent. Today we just seem to be unable to remember ourselves. But you see, those who remember will continue to remind those of who they are. People here living on the island refusing to call themselves African because they've never born in Africa. And they've never go to Africa before. And them don't speak no African language. So them can't be African. Well, tell that to a Chinaman. Tell a Chinaman who has never been to China and don't speak the language. Tell him same not a Chinaman. He just laugh after you. So it matters not where you're actually born. What matters is the consciousness of your identity. And the foundation of identity is race and sex. So you have to know what race you are, and you have to know your gender. It is a foundation of your being. So you have to know that. You can't be guessing now as to what is your racial constitution. You can't talk about you have part of this in you, and you have part of that, and you're trying to find any little strand of European in you to tell you, well, I have a little Scottish in me, and such and such was Irish, and we're fighting to be linked with the Europeans. Because we are unwilling to recognize that we are the dominant people. So if we have an ounce of European blood in us, we are only an ounce of Europeans. We are 99% Africans. So we are the dominant people, and we have to hold that identity and be fearless about calling ourselves African people. Of course, the people in the Caribbean region feel sometimes offended by the people from the continent who are continental Africans, because we have a problem right there. We have the continental Africans who many have a feeling that they are actually better than the Africans who were enslaved. And on the other hand, we have the Africans who are educated in the West who think that they are now superior to the Africans at home. We have to work that out, because the syndrome of lynch is deep. And we have to begin to stop the discrimination within our own selves and recognize the unity within our own blackness. This is the Metamorphosis. Size FM.
If you're ready, make we do it. And if you're ready, make we do it. Make we do it for Jah. Rastafari. The roots and culture. And if you're ready, make we do it. Make we do it and make we do it. Make we do it and make we do it. Every nation have to 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 do it. Make them do it, yeah, make them do it. Make them do it, yeah, make them do it. Do it for Jah. Rastafari. The roots and culture. Do it for Jah. Rastafari. The roots and culture. I make we do it, I make we do it. I make we do it, I make we do it. And if you're ready, make we do it. And if you're ready, make we do it. And if you're ready, make we do it. And if
kind of gonna segue out of this segment of the program. I'm getting some feed forward on the Facebook page. You know, some people seem to be quickly checking and rechecking information. And of course, Christina Gardner, we are together on the same page now. We are both saying that the Ankh is a symbol of eternal life. Yeah, that's what we know it to be. Of course, the cross is not the symbol of eternal life. The cross is all about death and suffering. And we seem to be wallowing in the concepts of death and suffering with this cross. Another brethren, I.R. Stewart, him I make we know, say, boy, the reason about the symbols are very, very significant to him. And he just mentioned about a team in Washington, an NFL team called the Washington Redskins. And them say, if you ever see the symbol that them use, don't say what it is. But I think it's going to might be very offensive, whatever the symbol is. Because the Redskins now is a very derogative type of term. Because I think they're trying to speak about the natives of the United States and calling them Redskins. Yeah. So, give thanks for those who are listening, and those who are thinking, and those who are Facebooking, and those who are texting. The text numbers are 453-1444. Yeah, man. Express yourself through the text, and if you feel brave, you can call. You will be listened to, and your opinions will be voiced in a conscious way. So, as we come out of this segment now, I just want to speak to identity within ancient culture. And there's a word that is you need to know and begin to speak about it and look at it. And it's the word called the word Kemet. K-E-M-E-T. Now, Kemet is actually the sound that was used by the black people to identify themselves. Before the Greeks and before the Romans invaded the continent, the people didn't call themselves Egyptians, nor did they call themselves Ethiopians, nor did they call themselves Africans. These are terms that were constructed and developed by European people. The Greeks, in their first encounter, recognized that the people were black and called them Egyptos. The Romans recognized in their invasion that the people were black and called them Africans. Afri meaning black as a prefix. So the consistent description of the people is black. So what did the people call themselves? People call themselves Kemetic. K-E-M-E-T or KMT. Kemet. There is also the school of philosophy called Kemetic philosophy. So this is no look idiot business now, you know. These are ancient people who were living on the continent, black people, that the Greeks, the Romans, all white people came and saw. These people had their own philosophy. They had their own psychology. They had their own concepts of personality. There's no Sigmund Freud here, you know. There's no Sigmund Freud in ancient culture to speak about the psychology of black people. So those people have no id, and them have no ego, and them have no superego. These are inventions by European psychologists that have been imposed on the consciousness of black people, that have us thinking now that we came out of animals and we have a id and we have a control over ego. Yeah. Reconstruction time is now.
There
Yeah, if you believe in things that you don't understand, surely you will suffer. Tell them, Stevie. Superstition, beliefs, do these things have such great influence on our thoughts? No. Our belief systems, how do we arrive at the things that we believe? And is our belief system strong enough to overcome the challenge presented by a knowledge system, a system of knowledge, versus a system of belief? How do we define reality? What are beliefs? Are they grounded in reality, or are they grounded in our fears? Yeah, people say, well, I believe that, Yeah, some I believe. Well, yeah, man, I believe that. And you check him tomorrow, boy, I'm not believe that, No, I'm not believe that no more. I will say the man next to you and say, well, you say, yeah, man, that me believe now, And 2 days, no, I'm not believe that no more. Where is the consistency in that person's foundation in terms of knowledge? Can we continue to be flip-flopping out in and out of beliefs? Or is there some form of stability that we can achieve by developing a system of knowledge? When we explore our own ancient cultures, knowledge was the foundation of all our creativity. Knowledge. We don't build anything with superstition. Nothing at all can you build with superstition except more fear. So we have to begin to make that separation now between knowledge and beliefs. Of course, the African people had their own systems of spiritual beliefs long before we made contact with the European people. And because we are a sort of deeply spiritual people, it's easy to be locked into a belief system. So we have to explore now the nature of the belief system. Does it elevate? Does it liberate? Or does it incarcerate and punish? Because if you have a belief system that incarcerates you, you have to dash that way. Yeah, man, you have to let go of that. Well, as a youth, I used to believe strongly in Santa. So strongly, I used to write letters to Santa. And I would be taken to the post office and given the opportunity to mail it to Santa. So strong was my belief. Only to find out that the letters were being thrown in the corner and them is a pile up. And then through knowledge, I began to realize that no man really living in the North Pole. And that no reindeer really flies through the sky. And all of a sudden, Santa just disappeared. Boop. Just like that. And then I began to hear stories about Jesus and Adam and Eve and Superman and all sorts of characters. And I had to make decisions as to which one of these characters are in reality and which one of the characters are really fantasy. So the belief systems now, we have to begin to check it out. How do we arrive at the things that we believe? And how do we recognize when the things that we believe are not so? One man just Facebook and said to me, Dr. Iman Blak, unlearning is very difficult. I know that. I know that. I know that. It's not a simple process because, you know, when things are riveted from before you can call your name until when you can call your own name, it's a long time that to begin to challenge all them whole rusty cement pack up in the system. Only for beliefs. But it takes courage to look into thyself. Because beyond the confusion, there is a divinity that is powerful, that is real, reality, that is wise, that is intelligent. And it is that force we want to extricate, that it can lift up itself to the highest level of creativity. And collectively, we can begin to build again. Before we can build in the pyramid again, we have to tear down the construction of beliefs that are within us that are not relevant. So, the belief, for example, in the devil, and the belief in Satan, these things are recent events given to us, you know. And you never see an image of Satan looking white yet. So we're always hating the things black. And yet, those angels in heaven with their white puffy wings, never looking black. Anybody ever visualize a black angel? Anybody ever visualize a black angel flying towards heaven to go through the gate of Peter's? Peter would have stopped the angel there. I tell you. Yeah, man. Peter would have to call up heaven and ask if the racial code has changed. Here comes the angel with black wings. Yeah, we just are looking at the thing, you know. Metamorphosis.
Alongside mystical villas. Now blizzard is man walking on the coast of the God and to see the sky fall. Now stand the ways of sinners. Oh, religion. Why is the light and laugh the land? And the laugh the land that meditate day and night. I do remember that God they are not so. No man like so.
No, you see this thing called religion. We have been bamboozled by religious ideas and religious symbols. But you know what I am concluding now, after thousands of years of looking at this thing? That within this present dispensation, we have been at war with each other as black people, between Christians and Muslims. It's like them pit one against the other and force you to take a side. So in this Western world, black people, they're either Christians or them is Muslim. They might into King James or they into the Quran. They might have follow back of Jesus or they might follow back of Muhammad. So here it is now. We are locked between these two forces. Neither one of them carrying us forward. Christianity not carrying black people forward. Islam not carrying us forward. Islam separate the women from the man, make the woman inferior. Christianity said the woman come out of the man's ribs. So the whole thing lopsided. Those two great religions that have been given to I and I. But you know there's another religion out there from about the 1920s. It started establish itself. A religion, you know. And it's a religion that was created and established by a black man. He never knew he was doing that still, you know. Because it wasn't about spreading religion. What that man was about spreading the knowledge of black people. It was about giving them ways of thinking, uplifting themselves, not only in the spirit, but in the most important era and of activity, in economics. How many other persons have come along and given us a plan of how to develop ourselves economically as black people? Who can name any of the great men of the past who have laid down a plan for economic development for the entire black race? So when we search our own story to try to find our own, for lack of a better word, saviors, because if Jesus Christ represents the savior of the black Christians and Muhammad is the messenger of the Allah, none of them working for us. And I say to you, make a look into Jamaica. Because this land tend to turn out all kind of man. And I say to you, there's a man who came out of Jamaica, was given to the world a religion. A religion that has an economic arm to it. It have a political side to it. It have a side that deals with self-reliance. Who has given us a religion that we refuse to look at? Even our academics browse around it. A yard man, you know. A little black man, you know. Set up a religion and give it. And nobody don't identify it yet? Alright, soon come. Yes, we do have a black religion. They say it's set up already. And there is a leader. There was a man who set up this religion the same way them give Jesus Christ the credit. Yet him never come to set up no Christianity. And them give Muhammad the credit. Him never come to set up nothing. It's the people define it. So I and as the people will know must define it. Define what is it we need to transform us as a people. We need a religion that is uplifting, that gives us economic direction, give us direction towards self-reliance. It's there already, you know. It's there. And we know who the man is. But to somebody else don't say him, we not say it. But I go and say it. The man come from down at St. Anne's. And that man they know me, I begin to recognize as the father of the black religion. And we're not talking about Rastafari. So, think again.
Death is the wages of sin. Babylon, the bandit, dashing in a bottomless pit, yeah. Babylon, dashing, working at the pit now. Babylon, the bandit, dashing in a bottomless pit, yeah. Babylon, dashing, working at the pit now. Liberation party. The chase must now begin. Fire to all down pressure. Death is the wages of sin. Babylon, the bandit, dashing in a bottomless pit, yeah. Babylon.
So we're looking for this religion that will help us to liberate ourselves. That will give us racial consciousness. Because self-definition is critical. Where we can define ourselves. Does the religion that you embrace bring you closer to yourself? Does it help you to define who you are racially? Does it help you? Does it help you to define your culture? So we're boxed between Christianity and Muslim. We can't find our way out. And on the African continent right now, the continent is separated in war, and the war is foundationally resting upon Christianity versus Muslim. We have to find a way now to free ourselves from those two things. Because either one of them is just as destructive. The alternative is here. And I'll tell you what the alternative is. And I'll tell you first how we overlook the alternative. In the 1970s, we were faced in the world with two powers, two political powers. The socialist forces, or the Soviet Union, and the United States, America, representing capitalism. So the world was divided into these two poles, capitalists versus socialists or communists. That was a great battle in the world, right through the 70s. The Jamaican academics had an opportunity in the 1970s to adopt a philosophy that would suit the black people of Jamaica. And in their wisdom, they chose to go the socialist, communist route. They too overlook what was set down by their own black leader. So we have been accustomed to looking outside ourselves for our own solution. So we look out into Europe, we look out into Canada, we look all around the world. And if we only look into ourselves, into our own culture, and into our own people, we would find our own salvation. So in 1887, the black world was blessed with the entrance of a child in St. Anne's. They decided to call the child Moses, because the notion was that this child was coming to lead black people into their own salvation. We know him as Mosiah. We know him as Marcus. We know him as Marcus Messiah Garvey. Garvey has already outlined all the principles required in a black religion. Iman Blak now has recognized within my own tradition that I am comfortable accepting and recognizing Garvey and Garveyism as a religion. Rastafari maintains the culture, maintains the tradition, maintains the resistance. But if we need a religion to rally around as black people, a religion that gives us economic plans, social plans, political plans, give us plans that can build and rebuild our civilization, then we must hoist up Garvey to the level of the gods. We have to deify God, deify Garvey. No one else will. The Pope of Rome a couple of weeks ago turned some dead popes into saints. They call it canonization. Very nice word. And they turn these long-time dead men into saints. In another couple of years, they turn those saints into something else. So who is it that are going to create the saints for black people? Who will make the black saints? It must be I and I and I. And we can begin by elevating Marcus to that realm.
Yes, we're getting stronger, and Babylon I get weaker. Yes, we're stepping up stronger, coming harder, ain't looking back, feeling stronger, ready to launch the attack. Do you remember when we were the cream of the crop? Is the Bible at the carbon we got? They took us away from Africa with an intention to kill our culture, but through the power of the Most High, our mental capacity get wider, coming harder, ain't looking back, feeling stronger, ready to launch the attack. Do you remember when we were the cream of the crop? They stole our Bible at the carbon we got. This is the time to live as one. Help your brother man from out of the slum. It's no crime, it's blood that we run. To liberate yourself you have to live in this sun. Coming harder, ain't looking back, feeling stronger, ready to launch the attack. Do you remember when we were the cream of the crop? They stole our Bible at the carbon we got. Emancipate your mind from slavery. I know one day Jah will set us free. Some have been brainwashed, got tricked easily, forget all their friends and their family. Coming harder, ain't looking back, feeling stronger, ready to launch the attack. Do you remember when we were the cream of the crop? They stole our Bible at the carbon we got. They took us away from Africa with an intention to kill our culture, but through the power of the Most High, our mental capacity is wider. Emancipate your mind from slavery. I know one day Jah will set us free. Some have been brainwashed, got tricked easily, forget all their friends and their family. Coming harder, ain't looking back, feeling stronger, ready to launch the attack. You remember when we were the cream of the crop? They stole our Bible.
Yeah, we're kind of still working out some things and some things. Still in the segment, still deconstructing the myths and the allegories, things that they impress on us as youths. Symbols and signs, things that surround us, influence our thinking without even knowing. Now, you see the whole thing again about luck and the good forces and the bad forces and the deities and the symbols and the signs. How many of you out there believe in accidents? How many of you believe that when things happen to you that are not in your favor, they are accidents? Yeah. How many of you really consciously believe that when things of ill fortune happen to you, it is because it is an accident? And what then is an accident? And is the accident a matter now of luck? Well, it's again, because we are being introduced to these ideas from the Western concept of thinking. There is also the view from the East. And one of the psychologists that is important in giving us a way of looking at some of these things from a different perspective is a man called Carl Jung. Carlgung. Now, Jung to me is a man who takes you out of Europe and lands you in the Eastern way of thinking, gives you a different perspective. Jung is a man who disagreed with Sigmund Freud that all behavior was sexual. Jung moved away from Freud's sexualism and got into the culture of the ancient Asian people. Got into the culture of Africa. And therefore had a different sort of basis for his analysis. Jung came up with a concept called synchronicity. 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 And he would present this as a way to explain events that happen that seem to be unrelated but somehow connected. And he defined synchronicity as an experience of two or more events that are meaningfully related, but they're unlikely to be casually connected. All right. In other words, no, in a brief way, it's like Carl Jung is suggesting that when things happen that seem to be coincidental, it is not by chance, but because of deeper cosmic movements, experiences that are events that are similar can be connected, not casually, but through experience. I'm saying this now without trying to be in any specific detail. I want you to look up the concept of synchronicity and begin to expand your way of looking at your own life. And maybe you're going to cite up that a lot of the events that happen in your life, there is some connection between the event and something deeper in thyself, in thy own memory, in your own thinking. So, in other words, now there is alternative ways of explaining things that we think are accidental. In other words, there are different levels of relationship between people, between thoughts. So we'll just open that window for a while and present an alternative to accidental actions and recognize that there are other forces at work, deeper levels of connectivity. When things work a certain way, you begin to realize, like, some people think it's fortune. Some people think it's fortune and that they were blessed by the gods. But ultimately, a lot of the things that happen to us are defined and determined by our own thinking. My mother used to say that thoughts are like little people. And when you send them out, he shall come back. So be careful of your thoughts and what you think. Meaningful coincidences. How about that? Meaningful coincidences. Events that are linked through meaning. Yeah, meaningful coincidences. Because there are people and events that are connected simply through meaning. Different ways of thinking. Liberating. Synchronicity suggests that instead of thinking that things are connected in a casual line, they may be connected by meaning. So rather than casuality as the cause of connectivity, it is meaning. Things of meaning become connected. Yeah, we're just thinking.
Jah the planet is end. It's this is the planet foundation. So I'll Rasta man, break the giant Mount Zion. Say whether you are Bingy, say whether you are Bobo, say whether you are Congo, whether you dread, whether than dread, whether than dread. Say this still wicked man can't touch the Rasta man. Say this still Babylon can't touch the Rasta man. Say this still Babylon can't touch the Rasta children. Say this still Babylon can't touch the Rasta man. It's not enough for one man wants. There's enough to feed the world. Man must share your love for everyone he cares. It's not enough for one man wants, but it's enough to feed the world. He's still Babylon, can't touch the Rasta children. Said he's still Babylon, can't touch the Rasta man. Said he's still Babylon, soldiers, police and gunmen. Said he's still Babylon, fire burn your evil plan. Said he's still Babylon, began with the politician. Soldiers, police and gunmen. Said he's still evil man, fire burn your evil plan. Rolino, what's coming now? What a beautiful goal for offside. El Rey.
The way that Maradona has been able to do. And he's hurting England again here. This is a brilliant run. It's one of the world's great goals.
They get away first time. Tyson Gay right alongside Usain Bolt, but here he goes, streaking away already. It's Bolt all the way. He's looking round at Gay. Watch the clock. It's goal for Bolt, and again he's done it again. A new world record for Usain Bolt. They say lightning doesn't strike twice. The world belongs to Bolt. Berlin belongs to Bolt.
When I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like a waving flag.
Give me freedom, give me fire, give me reason, take me higher. See the champion
And it's here now. It's here. It's here. The greatest show on earth. Taking place in Brazil, the home of five-time world champions. This is the greatest show on earth. It's an event that captures the imagination for the whole planet for one entire month. We're locked into a spectacle that will generate billions of dollars at the end of this campaign. We would have found who are the greatest players in the world. We would have been totally satisfied with the excitement and the thrills of international soccer. The thing about this World Cup is that a lot of persons only jump on board every 4 years, not really understanding how the thing come together and the importance that the World Cup plays within the nations. So I'll just give you a little overview of what the World Cup is without really telling you who's going to win. I usually make a final input about my choices when we get to the round of 16. But the World Cup, is what you call a quadrennial event. Every 4 years, the world comes together with their best teams to establish which is the best national team. This competition, of course, started in 1930 in South America. And before 1930, the world champion footballers were decided at the Olympics. So prior to 1930, the best football team would have to prove itself at the Olympic Games. So the two Olympic Games prior to the 1930 World Cup were won by Uruguay. And so it was only natural that the very first World Cup, which was played in Uruguay, would have been won by the Uruguayans. They were well prepared because they had experienced players who were Olympians. The World Cup, of course, as I said, started in 1930, mostly by teams from Europe, the best European teams and the best South American teams. At that early stage, the World Cup was limited to the best teams, and therefore the number 16 was critical. There were 16 teams that were contesting for the World Cup. Right up to 1970, there were 16 teams. At that time, teams in the Caribbean would struggle to get to the World Cup, and the dominant teams of this era would be the Mexicans and the Haitians. The Haitians proved to be a very powerful unit. And in 1974, FIFA, which is a governing body for football, FIFA decided to expand the number of teams in the World Cup. And the World Cup moved from 16 to 24 teams. This was under the leadership of Havelange, who was a Brazilian and a businessman. And Havelange decided to expand the FIFA family, and he also invited the multinational companies like Coca-Cola to invest in international football. So the World Cup started with 16 teams and expanded to 24 in 1974. In 1994, FIFA made another expansion to bring more teams into the World Cup program, and FIFA moved the qualifications from 24 teams to 32 teams. So this World Cup that we're watching today which started on Thursday. It started out with 32 teams. There's going to be a first series of games, and the number of teams will be reduced from 32 to 16. When the World Cup gets to 16 teams, then I think the World Cup would have really begun. And at that point, I will tell you how it will go. No, it would be unfair for me to just leave it right there, because the Jamaican team, which everybody disappointed, failed to get to the World Cup. People are forgetting, and I don't want one smaddy to forget what the Reggae Boys did before the World Cup start. I don't want anybody overlook that 4-game experiment that Horace Burrell, the president, and our new national coach, Schaefer, took the Reggae Boys on. Because the way that experience ended is a good thing the World Cup started the next day. Because nobody wants to reflect on the 8-0 beating that the Reggae Boys pick up from France. It's like it never happened. Yeah, man, we're trying to brush it under the carpet and go on like World Cup start now, so I could just watch World Cup. You see me now? You go and talk about the hate love there now. Hate love is a strong message to those who are living in the fantasy that Jamaica football is ready. So we'll play a little one match and draw, and then we'll play another match and we lose 2-1, and hope a thing start big talk, and we'll play a match and draw 2-2, and everybody say, yeah man, this side ready. Coach, know him I do. Everything right. Is the next match, we'll play a real team. And the man them dust we out. Hate love. Now when a man beat his side hate love, you know, he could have get 10 because he missed enough chance. Because that's how football go. And all of a sudden now, there is no analysis, no report, no feedback. It just under the carpet. And we'll watch World Cup. So when the World Cup done now, the administration will be literally free from criticisms. Because no one would have taken the opportunity to analyze the last debacle that reached the Reggae Boys. So in an attempt to sort of create an illusion of a Reggae Boys program starting already, we see the crash. So it crashed before it started. What a rude awakening. Yeah, make you go and watch the World Cup. Because so, best way I guess, you know, was bury head in the sun and not never happened to we. Because remember hurricane can't liquid, you know. Yeah man, can't liquid, must miss. So dear.
Architects, draftsmen, and surveyors, get your drawings printed in high-quality professional standards. We can satisfy your printing needs. Whether it is for presentation to your clients or for submitting building and subdivision application, make it VJ Printing Services. Whether drawing by hand or with computer-aided softwares, we will plot your negatives and print the copies as you need. We do high-quality white paper printing that is water-resistant and never fades, unlike traditional blueprint. For more information, call VJ Printing at 893-2266.
Planning a party, club night out, stage show, a gospel concert, or even a business sales event? Let Styles FM be a part of your promoting tool. Take advantage of our low-priced promotion packages with commercials, interviews, giveaways, reviews, and much more. We have special offers when you mix and match and bundle your options. Contact us at 876-286-9216 or 439-5160. Styles FM for the most effective way to exploit your marketing dollar. For the best quality in sound sound reinforcement and backlining, Native Audio. We have professional engineers with over 20 years of experience. So call us and we'll take care of your parties, wedding receptions, barbecues, conferences, and small stage shows. Crystal clear sound, Native Audio. Our prices are the best. Call us at 871-5212. That's 871-5212. Native Audio. We make your events audible. 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 Audible.
Afrocentric views and news on the Metamorphosis. We still can't find the airplane. 320 odd people still cannot be found nearly 2 months later. Could those people still be alive? I hear it's the American them capture the plane. Yeah, man, I hear them seize the man them cause some technician on the plane and kidnap the man them and carry them into some island called Diego Garcia. And have the some serious intrigue, you know. Nothing. This were earlier, you know. Imagine a whole plane disappear and then it take off in the news now. So we don't even bother business about it anymore. It just gone. Just like that. Gone. You know, if that plane had 10 Americans on it, they would have found the plane. If it had 5 Americans on it, they would have found the plane. But I get to understand, say, Dick Gregory. You see, Dick Gregory is a great man in America, you know. Great black man who has been in the struggle from before the struggle was even defined. And if you hear them on the perspective and where the plane go, we begin to stop listening to CNN and BBC and all those various letters. Because it's a highly orchestrated event. You can't shoot on a plane and no remnants remain. Not no gossip. The plane can't go under the water and oil don't come to the surface. Not no gossip. So when basic intelligence is applied, the plane lands somewhere. The plane was diverted. And I am suggesting to the ones who are listening and thinking, something is going on. Very serious. And the news media seem to be in cahoots with those who know what is going on. A big plane vanished after 2 hours. I wait still, you know. Because with some kind of luck, yeah, with some kind of luck, the entire plane would reappear with all the people. And it never happened. God, it was just a movie. Yeah, just a movie. You know, after a while now, we're going to watch the news and don't know what is real. We don't know. We'll be unable to define simulation from reality. But we know that the war is being fought in Ukrainians for sure. We know that the Europeans are fretting because the Russians and the Ukrainians and the Americans are finding a new ground to wage war. And we understand that Barack Obama is in his lame duck term. In other words, he has no more power domestically. So we're flexing power internationally to try to leave a mark. Because everything he tried to do locally, they wipe it out. All of the Obama programs have been wiped out. So his legacy must be something on the foreign affairs issue. So I could watch America now, you know, because them haunted. They want a war somewhere because America is a war economy. It is driven by sales of war materials. So right now, things low. Yeah, man, something have to go on. They might try to take on China, but China too big. Take on North Korea, but North Korea don't have enough esteem to defeat. There is no more Al-Qaeda.